Good day, good day. Oh no, our table is broken. Hello. I'm waiting for the chat to catch up. Yay! There we go. We are here. I made it mostly on time this time. I was trying to eke out the announcements. Oh, let me do the one on Discord right now. Alright. Win. How are we doing? How are we doing in chat? Did you guys send me amazing IDs? Oh, what's up, Richie? The grain is crazy. Yeah, sorry about that. It's kind of unfortunate. I had to close my window, which means that my camera really overexposes. I have like a 720p webcam, so it just kind of makes me very grainy and yellow. So sorry, but otherwise it was underexposed, which doesn't make any sense considering there was a ton of sunlight. But VHS effect, yeah, it was intentional actually. Definitely intentional. All right, let me swap tab. Let me put on some music. Let's swap. There we go. Cool. Also, you guys should stream Mickey new release. Very good. Also, it will be on the YouTube hopefully soon, but Emman had some problems rendering it out. Yeah. Oh, is it already uploaded? Let's go. Cool. I didn't check beforehand, so unfortunate. Alrighty. Let's see. Starting off, the captain starts accelerating the ship and says, "I miss me last." Bro. As always, dude, I can just look at the thumbnail and I already know who sent it. I already know. You want timeout again? That's kind of mean. Alrighty, let's give this a listen. Let me know again if the volume is good or not. That's a catchword. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Ooh. Nice as well. That's actually solid. I'm just gonna let that exhaust go. It's actually kind of nice. Okay, that's cool. You said it's killing your creativity, but honestly, this is, I think, one of the better Future Bounce ones that you sent in. Future Bouncy. It has like a progressive element to it because of the rolling bass, but I actually kind of like that. I really wasn't expecting how it was gonna come in based on the build. Why is your intro so long though? My guy, it is really long. Off cargo did absolutely. Just not amazing. You like long intro? That's fair. With a vocal, the long intro would probably be fine. Just like as it is, it's just like Just like that's a bit long. I mean, I would say the other thing is I think you could make the melody a bit more interesting. It's like a fine melody, but it's not like sticking in my brain or like making me think like, oh, this is an amazing melody. So I'd say take a look at the melody. Um, Also get like a more like a better like clap on the downbeat because it's just kind of like this drop clap thing going on. Kind of, I feel like I'm hearing a clap on the downbeat, but if there isn't one, add it, and if it's there, make it louder. Because that would give it a little more flow. But like the kick is solid. You could probably make the sub louder to fit better with the kick, but you know, that's all like more like tweaking and like minor mixing stuff. I mean, I'd like to hear you finish this, but I have a feeling you're probably just gonna make another idea. Play the drop again, please. I. Here, for example, at the end of this melody, da da na 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 na, like that's kind of like a Martin Garrixy style of melody, but I think that would be more interesting than just do 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 do. Like, just try and make some more like jumps and like things that are gonna be like, oh, like exciting things are happening. And then at the end, just finishing. Such a good idea. Do 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 do. Yeah. I have been around the Future Bounce block, so I do know some stuff. Also, add some more mids. It feels really OTT, like Disco Smile, like highs, lows, and then the mids are just missing. So I would say make the mids juicier, because it'll make the song feel more emotional as well. But thank you very much for your submission. Kyokan loves OTT. And there's just a whole dip. I mean, that's kind of what OTD does. It emulates the OG Disco Smile sound, which is like basically people used to EQ their speakers to increase the high end and the low end for dance music. Specifically, like became very prominent with disco music because it just sounded good, and OTT does a lot to emulate that. That didn't work. You can do it tastefully, but I think if a little more juice will help. Triangle Alliance. All right, let's give this a listen. And also these other people, I don't want to describe it. It's just Triangle Alliance. He's a label friend. We know him. Ooh. Is this future bass? Time to make a notes. Okay, the flashlights, guys. Hey! Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Woo. Okay, very interesting, Mr. Triangle Alliance. It seems chat really likes it. Yeah, those fills are great. I'm kind of surprised you left it until the last drop. I mean, I get the arrangement choice, but I think you could do more of those fills in the second drop even. But if you want to leave it in the last drop, that makes sense. Okay, super cool. I mean, I'm sure you guys know this needs a vocal. Like, there's a lot of space here that's just waiting for a vocal to fill it up, which is fine. I think the arrangement is still quite long. But you can, if you have a really good vocal, though, you can do a 4-minute long future bass song. Like, that's fine. But I will tell you, the intro feels really long. Like, by the time I got here, I was like, okay, like, something needs to happen. I was, like, starting to get bored. But the foundation is really good. I would say to this breakbeat, it needs some sort of extra rhythmic element because it feels a bit... which is fine, but it needs a little bit of maybe like an extra couple of perks or maybe some hats or something just to give it a little bit of like upswing, if that makes sense, just to give it a bit more oomph, a little more driving forward, because like the build and everything is great. I really like the drums. As far as the drop goes, the snare feels really weird. Like, I like the idea of what you're doing with the snare. It just feels like there's no transient to it at all, and it feels very dull. Like, yeah, it just feels a bit weird. The sustain on it is also really long, where it just has like this super long decay that kind of bleeds over into the rest of the track. And I mean, maybe if you took it away, it would sound worse, but I think you could try trimming it down a bit, which will make the snare feel a little more sharp and impactful. And also maybe just give the transient some help. You could just layer in like an extra snare that's more punchy and like kind of dry, and that should help. Then again, you'll have to do it to taste it and see what sounds good. I'd say for the drop as well, the bass could really use some more rhythm. I think if you do the rolling bass that Afkara had in the previous track, that would help a lot. Or if it is here, it's like not noticeable. I kind of hear it, but it's not really distinct. So I think if you had a bass that was like really that that would sound even better. But like the drop itself is really, really solid. The other thing is you can make this piano brighter. I don't know where. There it is. Like this piano stuff would be a little brighter. The guitar also sounds a bit weird, but it sounds like it's just a digital guitar, which in that case it's kind of hard to change the sound of it. Custom vocal would bang on this into NCS, yeah, for sure. Yeah, custom vocal would be great on this. But yeah, thank you very much for sending that in. Something new. Ooh, this logo's cool. I can't tell what it is, but it looks cool. Looks kind of like a frog or like a praying mantis but it's a cyclops. Let's give this a listen. Normal people would go nice melody. The B part, yeah. Yup, exactly. Yeah, Pierre's coming in with the Kashmir plug. Memento. I don't know why, but this reminds me of something that's not Brooks. I don't know what it is. My brain is saying Taiga, but I don't think that's correct. This is a really cool idea, though. I really like where we're going with this. My main feedback is it feels like the transition points in the track are all really weak. And that's like, for example, here between the break and the build. Like, there's this little drum fill, but everything kind of just is stopping and waiting until we get to the next section, where I think you could have more elements that are specifically designed, you know, little sweeps, transition elements. Get like a Reese fill or something that's like excited, that's like, oh, okay, we're like taking this musical idea and we're like, okay, we're gonna evolve into the next section, and like fuse the two together. So like the easiest thing I can do is just take like a Reese fill of like wow wow da, and then just, you know, have it lead into the next section, and that's like a really easy thing. I did that on a track recently because I didn't know what else to put in the transition. But you can get really creative with like having little glitch effects and stuff. You know, find little miscellaneous effects and sample packs and just throw them in there and see how it sounds. Because that will help. And also in like the transitions between the A and the B part on the drop, it just isn't clear when something is going to happen. And I think you could find, you know, take little sweeps, little reverses. I think part of it as well is the melody, where the melody doesn't really flow that smoothly. I like the rhythm overall. It just doesn't feel, it feels a bit chaotic, and like there's just a lot of notes happening and it's not quite telling the story effectively. Like, I don't know. It's like close to being really good melody wise, but it's not quite there. E major fart is wild. Drop need mixing is more slides. That's a good point. I hadn't even thought of that. Definitely add some pitch slides. It'll help. Yeah. Also, in the build you should have a reverb on this lead. It kind of like is at full volume, filtered a bit, and then yeah, if you just add a reverb, it'll sound fine. Yeah, that's kind of it. I think you could mix the drop better. It's very piercing in the high end right now. And I think part of that is like the leads you have, so you could remove some of the resonances from those. Also just like not so much high end, maybe. I mean, you don't have to take it down like a bunch, because future bounce is supposed to be very bright, but you know, a little bit of attenuation, as they say in the business, will help. The B part has too much slide and the A too little. All right, let's what is this? There's so many. There's 5 versions of me in the back. Yo, what is this? Becoming me. What's up, Stripes? Oh man. Okay. I'm a real meme guy now. I have a better one. I'll send a DM. All right, we'll see. Let's see. What have you got? I'm waiting, Mickey. Send it to me. All right. Well, in the meantime, let's start listening to this track, and I'll bring up the wonderful meme afterwards. Ooh. You're too good. You're too good, man. So good I have to play the extend, like, I just have to let the whole extended play out. This part is so fire. Carl, what? It should have like a at the end or like a bong or something. You can submit one of mine. Yeah, Stripes, it's unfortunate you don't have an ID. I would have loved to hear something. Yo, what's up, one more? Let's see. Yeah, chat, y'all love that. I'm not surprised. That was really great. Every time you send one, an ID for feedback is always absolutely crisp. Okay, feedback-wise, the drop needs a little more bass and specifically like more sub, because there's more bass in your build than there is in the sub. It just sounds like the drop hits, and I was expecting like the whole thing, and I got like everything above 100 hertz perfectly fine, and then there's just like a dip. Like if I test this, if I use the wonderful Chrome EQ. Yeah, so some of these people just send stuff to get praise. It's literally perfect. I mean, there's always the way you get to perfect is iterative. So sometimes, I'd say it's perfect, and then you send it to someone else, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you could fix this, this, and this." So, Eimer. Ah, okay, okay. So you can replace the letter to be a number. I see, I see. I think as well, what you could do with this track is just in the breaks. The breaks are already really good, but I think you have space on the sides. Have like little tiny twinkly melodies going that just like, every like couple, bars, you'll have like one on the right side and then one on the left side. It's like, a or like a something like that. I mean, don't actually use my melodies. Come up with something actually good, but yeah, just like a little bit of sparkly stuff on the side to make it even more exciting. Also, the vocoder, is it here? Weird, because it's not really loud enough that you can hear, but it's also not like full enough as it is. So it to me it just sounds very strange. So I'd say like try and make it a little more juicy overall. Like make it louder and make it more juicy. I feel like I just said the same thing 4 times, but oh well. Other than that, I mean, you're too good. Like, it's hard for me to give more feedback. I mean, even the vocal fits really well here. Let me add also the next tracks. Weak mix, slightly detuned saw chords. What? Oh, I see. Yeah. Saw chords are good, but also sometimes... Mickey, what is this? Oh, you stopped me in the middle of my sentence. Hey, what happened? What is going on? I made his artwork. Oh my god. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Thank you for sending it in. How many of these are there gonna be now? I'm like wondering. This is fire though. I actually want this. Wait, I'm gonna save this image. Wait, I'll do it afterwards, but this is kind of fire. I like that I'm sitting here on the side like woo. The trailer of Kyokan. Alright, let's give this a play. Ooh, good start. How am I supposed to give feedback to this? What the hell? What? Sent to futurized for real. Oh my god. Kyokan reaction. What the fuck? That was crazy. Oh my, I'm like reeling. The real Future Bounce Never Die? Absolutely. This for real is a Future Bounce Never Die. That's so good. We should just listen to it again, guys. I think we all want to hear it again. Bum. The bass. YouTube bounces ass and will never come back. Yeah, we're all just living in copium Pierres. Whew. Man, you... Okay. Feedback. Number 1, finish it. Please. Wow. That's so sick. Number 2 is sent to Futurized. I think we're all in agreement with that. Yeah. Stripes is asking the right questions. How do you make a melody like that? I think it's we who want the feedback on how do we get close to that. What's crazy as well is it's not just the melody, it's the bass that like really makes it so solid. That interplay between the bass and the melody is what I think really sells the track. I would say like as well like this is like a cool sound, but you could make it more mid focused like EQ wise. And also I think you could just have like even more processing on it, just like to make it a little more textured and changing over time. And like I think even the build as is, it just kind of needs like a vocal. He's like, I want to know, you know, something very kind of like tribal-esque could work, which could actually really work for like these build-ups where you have these transitions. If that makes sense. I probably sound like a crazy person. Oh my god. Viewers give feedback stream. I could visually see that melody in my head. I don't even know how you could do that, Pierre. That's wild. But yeah, vocals. My recommendation is like get tribal vocals. I'm just speechless. I'm stun-locked. I'm saving this. I'm saving this tab for later because I want to listen to it after stream. I may sing. Oh shit. Let's go. Okay. Whew. I'm gonna be real, Richie. You got an uphill battle here, but I believe in you. You gotta follow this up. It's gotta be as good as the last one. Also, good picture. The picture's definitely better than. Yeah, no, it's definitely better. This one's fun though.
Ladies and gentlemen,
let's go. Make that aim and break louder.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we got him.
We got him.
Ooh. I heard this melody.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
You can make this drum break so much louder, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Ladies and gentlemen,
We got him.
we got him.
How'd you change the name? Why'd you change the name of the logo? We changed it a while ago though. That was many many months ago. We changed it because we felt like Dimension didn't mean what we wanted it to mean. Like the literal name, we were like, we wanted the label to in name also represent what we stand for, which is we want people to be able to like come to us and like, you know, we want to take care of their music. I love your Let It Go. What? What does this mean, physical? But yeah, we just want people to be able to come to us, bring their music, and like, you know, we want to take care of you and give you the best experience as an artist possible. And like, you know, the motto we have is where music finds refuge, which is, you know, with Dimension it didn't really have any synergy, and we were like, we can change this now, and it's like a good time. So yeah, sort of chaotic explanation, but there you go. Okay, feedback time. I'd say for you, Mr. Ritchie, I would make the lead a bit brighter, because right now it feels like the whole mix is a bit like under a blanket. I think also make the drum breaks louder. Let me listen to the drop drums. I think in this breakdown though, I would try changing the melody and taking something that's a little more like like, you know what I mean, like sustained long notes on the melody, which will make it more noticeable to hear the bass for one, because it won't be taking up as much space, and also you just have an opportunity to try something that's a little different from the main drop melody. Otherwise, by the time you get to the second drop, it starts to get a bit boring. A Sanctuary lore dropped? Exactly. Kind of weird because it builds as a ton of hi-hats and the drop drums feels a little bare. That is a good point, Stripes. I didn't notice that. I think they're just kind of... It feels like everything's a bit muffled, and I'm not sure why. But I think if you can figure it out, you know, take your attention to there and sort of sort out in your DAW why things are sounding muffled. It might be like the chords are taking up too much space in the high end or something of the like. If you also want to make more space for the hi-hats, somewhere between like 7 and 9K is a good place to make space, because that's where a lot of your hi-hat body is going to be. So yeah, the more you know. Alrighty, I hope that helps. Next one. Oh, my face hurts from so much bass face though. It's like crazy. All right, let's give this a play. Rixth.
Cause out that you'll never be is just another memory with strangers who know every secret. Cause out that you'll never see is just a faded memory with strangers who know every secret. Cause now I'm moving on, moving on. Yeah, I'm moving on, moving on. Cause now I'm moving on, moving on. Yeah, I'm moving on.
Without you.
Cause now I'm moving on.
The atmospheres are so good in this. cool. I saw people was saying Mr. Rex's name in chat earlier. Also, Azura, send us ID, please. Send us ID. Okay. Maybe this is gonna be a controversial take, but I actually don't love the way this main lead works. I like the overall like tone of it, but with the context of the track, I think you could have found something that's a little more in like an Alva Gracia direction of like finding something that's a little more like working with the rhythm of everything going on, because it already has sort of an Alva rhythm to it. So you could have gone like full like Alva House, sort of more like this track. Now that my promo is done. It was my previous, which was the last time, but I had the vocal chops. Wait, what? I am confused. Richie, more context, please. But yeah, I would say maybe try something more in the direction of that. I mean, this is like 10 months ago, so I understand if maybe you're not working on it. You just kind of want people to hear it again. But if you removed the vocal, this would be like already release ready. I think you could also, if you're gonna keep the vocal chop this way, I would make it less high focused. Like I think you could bring in more mids, which will make the vocal chop feel a bit more emotional. That's just my thought. I changed accounts. Emuri. Yeah. I don't know. I'm struggling to find more feedback just because it's like really good. Like the quality is all there and the mix is good. Sorry I can't say more, but yeah, thank you for sending. Let us move on. Mickey. Alright, let's get this lesson. D&B?
A place with no more drama, a heaven where we've never been.
Make sure to hydrate, guys.
I wanna go further, deeper than the surface, see what's underneath my skin.
Nice snare roll. That's so catchy.
You're missing the point of my intentions. My words are slowly feeling like a
Long hit beat. That's super cool. Okay, feedback wise, I'll say I think the mix could be like a bit brighter for the drop because it feels a little bit like I don't know. I'm just missing that like clarity on the top end. Um, I think like the chords, melody, everything is great. I think you could maybe have a few more like in between elements. What I was thinking is like maybe you can try and add some little like color base, color house, like small effects and like little twinkles that can go in between notes or like in between sections that can just make it a little more interesting and will also give you a little more feeling of variation without changing any of the main elements. But, you know, you might not have space for that. So you'll really have to play with it and find out. Other than that, I really don't have much feedback. I mean, it's just a good track. I don't love the break, the kick placement. Something about the way the kick is hitting feels weird. I think you could maybe add also an aim and break under this and it would sound better. Because it feels a little empty and weird. You might be able to keep the kick pattern and then just add an aim and break under it and it'll be fine. But, you know, it's, that's all the feedback I got for you. Alrighty. I don't know if I'm supposed to pronounce this as Forsta or Asta. Tiz. What happened to Tiz? I haven't heard any of his stuff. Is he not put anything out or am I like not following? Tracks? No tracks? Oh shit. Okay, I'll listen to that later. Alright, let's get this lesson. Ah, okay, I forgot that's your new alias. Cool. Alrighty.
Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, no, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Now they gonna say I told you so. Now you're gonna hear shit have known. 'Cause you showed who you were. And now I'm hurt. 'Cause you showed.
Whoa.
Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, no, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Now they gonna say I told you so. Now you're gonna hear shit have known. 'Cause you showed who you were. And now I'm hurt. 'Cause you showed.
Whoa. That's really cool. That sort of like color house style. I don't even know if this is like fair to call it color house. It's more like techie, but I really like it. Feedback. I think you could find a better kick for this. First of all, I like the kick, but I'm just missing a little bit of that like crunch and like extra bit of punchiness to it. The kick is really like soft, which works for the genre, but I don't know. It just feels like you could have something that's a little more keeping up, I'd say, with the other elements, because all the elements are really bright and the kick is super soft and like low end focused. The other thing I really want to point out is like you have a lot of these other smaller melodies going on that are really great for layering into this main like chord sound, and I think you should bring those out more, or maybe just bring the chord sound down a little bit, because they're kind of buried, and like I can hear them after a little bit of time on the first listen, but I really have to look for them. SB vibes, yeah. I think new generation of tech house, maybe. Yeah, it's like retro future tech house. So you have like there's like a lot of these really cool sounds. They're just too far in the background, and I think if you bring them up a little more, it's gonna more people are gonna be able to actually like, notice and appreciate them in that retro future. Yeah. Retro future. The other thing I wanted to point out is like after the drop here, don't let this fade out into nothing. Keep the hats going. Like you can just, because the hats are gonna come back here anyway. Just let the hats keep going, and like you can then take that space, have like a few extra little like sparkling exhausts or something. Like you don't just let this space be like 5-6 seconds of silence, because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like it's a whole set of bunch of bars where like nothing is really happening, and you could just have stuff going in there, and it doesn't have to be really related to the rest of the track. Like it can only happen in this section, and it'll make the transition much more interesting, and it'll make your track much richer. Overall, also it'll just like smooth out the energy, because what's happening is you're going from really high energy to all of a sudden just flatlined. Like it just goes from here to 0, and then it goes like back to like 50, where it's like, okay, now we've got the hats going. If you just leave the hats going, kind of smooths it out, where it's like, okay, yeah, okay, we're going back down to something that's a little more low energy, but not completely to the floor, if that makes sense. And from that to Psytrance retro future, yeah, it's sometimes defining these like more niche genres is really hard, because you'll have artists like is it Forsta or is it Asta? I don't know. Azura's New Alias, that are, you know what I mean? Their sound is not really placeable. Like it's hard to place this because it's so unique. Yeah, let's go to the next track. Mike X Josef Tamarcano. All I see is you, work in progress. Lamp. You're welcome, Azura.
Even when I close my eyes, all I see is you. Tell me when you run in my mind, so I know just what to do. Hold on to me, baby, I don't need nobody else. So hold on to me,
Okay. Alright. I have some spicy feedback for you, which is, I think you should try to make the track a bit more unique, my friend. I have heard this combination of sounds and, like, stuff many, many times. I would say my main feedback to you is, like, as far as, like, more, like, direct, actionable feedback, is, like, the vocal re-trigger on the feels really weird, because I think of where it's placed, where it's kind of, like, the vocal chop is, like, immediately jumping up like a note. It's like, it. So I would try and find something that's a little more stable, like, or it may also just be the vocal, where if that's the vocal take you have, then you don't really have anything else to work with, then you might not be able to find a better chop. In which case, that's unfortunate, but I would say try and find a better one than that. Even if you have to stretch it, for example, to make it fit, that's going to be fine. But yeah, I would say try and, like, change the piano sound, for example, because this grand piano is really overused. Like, it doesn't really sound that good to me, and I think, you know, kind of depends what plugins you have. What happens to me, I just redo the chops. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, the piano just feels really tinny, and, like, you know, if you don't have any better piano plugins, that's fine, but, like, for example, y'all can look up a decent sampler, which I'll put in chat. And there's a ton of free piano plugins that you, or, like, things, just like if you guys are familiar with Spitfire Audio's Labs, it's just like that. There's a ton of free, really solid pianos that you can get that aren't going to sound like, you know, the FL20 I'm a pack. Meanwhile, anyway, I'll drag yours to the front. Let's see. Because, like, I don't want to keep your grandma waiting, you know what I'm saying? And also because I know the people behind here aren't going to mind too much. If you have a problem, state it now. But yeah, I would say, I wish I had, like, more cool feedback for you, my hex, but it's just, like, you got to try and, like, branch out a little bit. Because there's really not much I can say. Like, you actually did a pretty good job executing this style. It's just, I don't know, it's not that interesting anymore. It's kind of unfortunate. Yeah. Alright, Emery, let's, this is for your grandma. Help me with the lead, please.
Don't you think like that? I will love you endlessly. If you don't believe in me, don't you be like that? I will love you forever. If you don't believe in me, don't you think like that? I will love you.
It's a very divided type of intro.
Don't you be like that? I will love you forever. If you don't believe in me,
Wait, this is a divided track. What? Am I tripping? Woo! Trying to fix this lead, one thing I would say is my bad, I reused the that's fine. If it's a remix, it is what it is. But it's just like, this sounds very much like Divided, because he just does that in every track where he has this nice thick reese going. If you want to fix this lead, my suggestion is don't cut it as hard, so it just sounds really thin, which means, this is my guess, I don't actually know what you've done with this lead or how you even made it, but my guess is you've cut it up to somewhere like 300 hertz, 200 hertz, and then you're like focusing on like the high end and stuff, when really what this lead needs is body. It needs to have like lows and low mids. So if you have high cuts, bring them all the way down to 100 hertz. Don't cut below there. You're gonna think, oh, but like I should cut there so it's cleaner. Leave them in there. Especially for this kind of lead, you can really get away with leaving a lot of lows and low mids, and it'll make it sound fuller. It just sounds really small and like tinny, and like it's missing all the fundamental frequencies. So if you bring those back in and like, don't saturate too much, because I think it already sounds like it's going through some distortions, but really just focus on like bringing out the mids, bringing out the lows, and I think then you'll get a lead that much more resembles kind of what you want. That's my guess, at least. I cut around 150 hertz and boosted low. Cut a bit of highs. I'm not sure then. It may just be the sound design. Like, you may just need to change the sound, drop it an octave. Just anything that's going to focus it more onto the mids and like away from this really twinkly, tweaky sound. I'm going to mix every lead sound separately. I might fix it. Oh, you should definitely do that. Yeah, if you have multiple lead sounds, I would always suggest mixing them separately. And then just send them to a bus, right? This is the cool thing. I don't know what DAW you're using, but in every DAW, it's possible to route to a bus. Laziness buzzing. Yeah, I understand that. It's also like there's an argument as well for like workflow, and then afterwards you go and mix it, which is fine, right? Like the idea is already here now, and now you can focus on mixing it. But yeah, if you try and fix all the sounds in your bus, it's not gonna go that well. It's gonna be a tough time. So, I think that's mostly the feedback I'm gonna give you, because you can also find a better kick than this. I would reference some other tracks, and I think you could find a much harder, more clipped kick than this that will sound much cooler, because this kick kind of gets swallowed up by the rest of the track. It's not a bad kick by any means, I just think you could find a much better one. You can also make this cross louder. And maybe layer it with one more. Like, more clap that's the sound of like multiple people clapping, because this clap is really tight. Alrighty. I hope that helps though. Emery. Beyond this guy. Whoa. Boobless. This is really cool. I really like that. Let's see what is track. Goofy odd track? What do you mean, goofy odd track? That was really cool. I will say though, a lot of the sounds you use are quite cheesy. Like they're like, you know, little like some of them are goofy sounds, but I really like the sound you're going for. Like this intro already like immediately captured my attention, which is usually quite good. Like that's really cool. I will like please keep doing that and like keep making stuff that has like that attention to detail because it will take you quite far. Yeah, as far as the track goes, I don't know why it's clipping. Let me try rebooting. Let's see. I don't know why Dropbox has it super loud. I mean, I have it at half volume and it's still like super clipping. Thanks. Yeah, no worries. I mean, I wish I could give you my. Like, unfortunately, with the fact that it's clipping so hard, it's kind of hard for me to tell what's going on. I think you can make some of the plucks a bit brighter and like wider as well. I think maybe you could take some of these detailed sounds, these like little accents, and pan those more left, right. You could have it pan from like, you know, left, right, going back and forth. Use automation as well to create more space. Because like you have the sounds there, and I think you could just create even more dimensions of like cool stuff if you then automate those sounds and have them panning around your ears. That's kind of my big recommendation because you've already done the style really well. It's just the track itself is a bit very happy and cheesy, not in a bad way. It's just like that's how it sounds to me. Okay, yeah, I hope that helps. Pierre's Kawaii style. Yeah, I really like kawaii style. I think it's a very fun genre. Chord prods change.
I said we used to be okay. A smile on your face, all washed away. Taking back off yesterday, like a warm embrace, all washed away. I'm building castles in the sky 'cause I cannot see the recipe for you and me, the remedy. I'm building castles in the sky 'cause I can barely breathe. It's killing me. We used to be in synergy.
Very cool. I like that a lot. I don't like this kick though. I think you could get a more solid kick. Hey, I joined right. Hey, what's up, Green Dragon? I was wondering if you're gonna drop by today. Dopsonk. I don't know why. It's something about the lead. It feels like there's just a lot of noise going on. It's also a bit like I'm just missing clarity and like high end. I think maybe it's just because it's on ID and you'll probably get around to it. Like I know you can definitely do that. Ton of vocal shots. Wide reboot. All layered together and stuff. Also, where did this come from? This is like a new thing that I've seen now, or I've heard about that. Everyone's like, "Ooh, dude, change the chord progression." Which I mean is cool. Like I kind of like it. It's at least like a step forward and like making some more interesting future bounce. I really wish I had more feedback for you other than like this break. This just could have more atmosphere and like textures going on in the background, and like, you know, even just like a bike chain going on that's like, you know, it's kind of like there's long samples. If you go through like Bad Computer Spice stuff, you'll find one that's like and just have that going on in the background. That'll make the break a lot more interesting and like exciting. It's in a lot of Future Bounce, but most Future Bounce songs don't really fit for it. I see. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have more feedback for you, Piers, but you're too good. Alright, 361 UE. Shooting Star. Once again, Dropbox was really loud. Very cool. I like that we're getting more D&B stuff today. Feedback wise, I mean, I've already said it in chat, but this really is missing a gritty bass. If you find a gritty bass for this, you know, a Reese bass, you know, some sort of just full bass, this will be great. It's just missing that, I don't know, like body to it, because the lead is great and everything about it is great. The drums are great. Just missing that. Well, the sub is good too. The other thing is like the build lead, like here in this section. I also just really love this orchestral section. It's super nice. You did a really great job with it. It could maybe even be a bit louder though, like just a little more volume, a little more mids on it maybe. But it sounds really clear as well, which is nice. The thing is, you have more space to maybe layer some extra sounds in here, some extra layers of instruments if you wanted to, but you don't really need to. It's great as is. Here, this lead though needs some reverb really badly. If you add some reverb in here, it'll make a da da da. Like it'll have like this nice sustain, which will make it exciting. Because the notes will carry over. and also it won't be at like full power, if that makes sense, because the reverb will wash it out. And so then by the time you get to the drop, the dry lead coming in will be much more exciting. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, you're welcome. Was there anything else I wrote down? Not really. I mean, the track was good. I like all of this stuff, the panning of the ARP, all really well done. Maybe you could use like a vocal. Like if you had a vocal here, this would be even sicker. You could also maybe filter the leads a bit more in the build-up, just so that the drop hits with even more power. Mix-wise, there's one thing I'll say, which is a little bit of like piercing stuff in the high end on some of the leads. Exactly it is, but something about it is just a little bit stuff. So maybe just take some really surgical EQ and just like see if you can find some resonances that are particularly annoying. That would be so helpful. Yeah, that's great to hear. Change the mood in the chat, but whoa. Green Dragon coming in with the walloping news. 3F. Yeah, big fucking F. Good lord. How do 3 trains collide, though? 2 trains, I understand, but 3 of them? That's quite intense. Alrighty. I think this is the last ID for today, but let me check. Oh no, we got Green Dragon. We gotta get him in here. Don't you worry about me. I don't know why I have that in my head now. I see. Oh my. Train operators being very bad at their job. Alrighty. Sec ID Dancing with the Stars. Let's give this a listen.
Going out again, am I out of my mind? Going out with friends, gonna have a good time. When the clock strikes midnight, you gon' know that it's time to dance. When the clock strikes midnight, just lose yourself. 'Cause you only have one night.
This vocal is really good.
'Cause we only have one night. So won't you come a little closer? I don't
Nice. Okay, very cool. Let me quickly record there. Sorry, I'm writing notes. Okay, so I would say like the vibe is overall really good. I'm not sure the melody quite fits yet. The melody is like solid. The foundation is good. The sound design and everything is good. But I feel like some of it is a bit confusing in here. Where I kind of get lost and I'm like not really sure what's going on. This piece as well. I think you can change those sections and make them, I don't know how you would make them more compelling, but I would say like focus your attention to that. By the way, what made you decline the track I set on label radar so I can improve on that for next time? I would need to go listen to it again because it's been a while since I took a look at it, Afkara, but I'll take a look at it after stream and I'll send you a DM on it. You could also, for this track, Mr. Sec, put more build up in the lead, or more lead in the build up, because right now it kind of just feels like these are two separate songs. Like, not completely, but there's very little of the drop interwoven into the build, so it's just like this, like this little bit of lead coming in, and then just, so I would say bring some more of that earlier. It can be very filtered, but bring it in. But definitely a really great idea. This vocal is great, by the way. Good job. I don't know whether this is a vocalist you know, or like a really good vocal you found. It's just either way, really good job. The vibe as well is just good. Alrighty, last one for today. Maybe I'll change the melody. Yeah, that might be it. Or you might just need to change the rhythm. Could be that. I wish I had more specific advice for you, but that's the best I can do. Intro is work in progress, so feedback on build up and drop, please. Okay, sir. Ooh, J. Carlo. It is a good start, though. Very deep sound, I like that. Yay, Escada bass. I know you're using the chords there. I've used those so many times, so I know exactly what they sound like. There should be some more prominent chords. Yeah, so feedback wise, you said build and drop. I'm gonna mostly focus on the drop. So I think you could definitely get more juicier chords. Add one or two layers, saturate them a little bit more, just get them a little bit more exciting, because right now the Luar chords are like a really good starting sound, but on their own they're not quite enough. J. Carlos saying this, by the way. Oh, okay, I see. You saying, so you're saying the melody? That's actually that's a really great way to make melodies, by the way, is just sing them, because that's like a big Skrillex tip. Because when you sing the melody, if you can sing the melody, other people can probably sing the melody, and it means it's probably catchy enough and simple enough that it's going to be able to like fit in a song. The other thing is you have this big J. Escar bass going, but the leads feel really small. So I would say find some really nice, juicy, thick like lead layers. Make sure as well you're not cutting the leads too high. Make sure that they have the fundamentals still in there, so make sure there's 300, 200, 100 hertz still in. Just watch some of the JS cartridges. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, if you're going for the style, then definitely watch some of the JS card tutorials. You'll get a pretty good idea of what type of leads he's using, and like what you can maybe do to your track. That's kind of it though. Let me listen to this build up again though, because he asked for feedback. There's just not much happening here. I struggle a lot with build up, so I get it, but I think you really gotta get a vocal, and it like needs to fall into the drop almost, whereas Here it's like there's kind of just this like little snare thing going. It feels like there's not enough going on. It's just kind of we're just waiting for the drop to happen instead of like we're doing an exciting thing now that's driving us to the epic climax of the drop. It's just kind of like, okay, well, I'm supposed to have a build up, so it's here. Yeah. Which I'm very guilty of doing myself, but I think you can definitely get something a little more substantial in there. Yeah. I think that's it for today. I'm out of things to feedback. Very cool. There's some doubles in here. Let's see what of course sent the double. Did you send this before? Oh, this is what you sent. I'll take a look at this. We'll see.
Come a little closer. We could do it all for. Just come a little closer now. Come a little closer. We could do it all.
This section is going really badly. There's like, if we're getting 15 seconds, 20 seconds into a dance track and there's no rhythm at all, it's like weird. In fact, this is a thing that Jonas Aiden, if you watch a lot of his videos, he'll recommend is like you should start off the track with rhythm elements of some kind, whether it's a snap or some kind of a little shaker. What I like to do, and this is something I actually recommended to Divided a couple weeks ago, and it really helped out one of his tracks. Just add a gated vocal in there. You know, you can find a bunch on Splice. There's a ton in sample packs. Find some sort of like type of sound and just add it in here. It'll fit really well into most Future Bounce tracks. Even a lot of Future House tracks will, and you'll already get that sense of like excitement because there's some sort of rhythmic element. Because this is really pretty. It just is missing that drive that you want for a dance track.
We could do it all for. Just come a little closer now.
If you want to leave the first 15 seconds, that's fine, but like you really need to have stuff for here. The vocal should still be in front here. It's like way too far in the background. By the way, I'm going to be very harsh because you're wondering why it got declined, so I'm going like 110% on you. Also because I know you can take it. Everything feels very far in the background. Like the leads sound like they're very reverbed and just sort of far away. Like these sounds should be dry and like powerful, and they kind of just feel like they're da 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 da, like they're kind of just happening. I think as well the melody's just not compelling enough. I think for next time get like a much stronger melody going, because the rhythm is fine, the notes are just not terribly exciting. Let's see what else.
We could do it.
Hear the vocal. I like this idea though of a oh, no, 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 no. That's like a cool motif to layer as well with the vocal. Works really well, but the leveling here isn't quite right. It's like the vocal should be louder. The sound as well is very fuzzy, which can work, but I think you could get something more interesting going.
Come a little closer now.
would say that's like the main things I can feedback you for next time is like if you sort those out in the next one, it's definitely possible that we could get a sign for you because like all the rest of the stuff is solid. It's just like if the melody's not top tier and like when I say top tier, you know, I'm not expecting you to write the next Martin Garrix melody, but you know, if you don't have a solid melody and like it just feels like things are waiting to happen, then it's going to be very difficult to sign. Yeah. Yo, what did I miss? Frick, I missed it. Recap. I mean, you could go back in the VOD and watch it, Afkara, because it'd be kind of hard to recap all of it. I went for a while. I was like a solid 5-7 minutes of feedback. And also I need to eat food now again. I literally just ate earlier, but I'm hungry again, so guess that means I gotta eat. Yeah. GG's. Well, yeah, take a look at what I just said. You know, scroll back in the VOD. But thank you guys again for coming out this week. We had a bunch of crazy IDs. Freaking Rexy and Dozen absolutely tearing it up. Make me not want to release any tracks because they're too freaking good. But yeah, I'm gonna sign off now. Thank you guys again for coming, and I'll see you next week. Bring more IDs. Ciao, ciao. And